Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiri Nashtaprahishu Avatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita by Satsuru Das Goswami, Volume 3, Only He Could Lead Them, San Francisco, India, 1967. Chapter 24th, New Jagannath Puri. So Prabhupada is in San Francisco and is asking his disciples to preach also, not just listen, hear, preach, go out and preach. So further he's saying, now this is possible for everyone. Even the child can repeat Hare Krishna. What's this difficulty? You hear Hare Krishna and chant Hare Krishna. We are not giving you very difficult or troublesome task. Then everything will follow. We are giving you everything. But if you feel in the beginning it's difficult, then you can do this. This is very nice. Chant Hare Krishna. You're doing that actually. Hearing and chanting this process will help you. It is a basic principle of advancement in spiritual life. Without hearing, we shall simply concoct, waste our time and mislead people. We have to hear from the authoritative sources. Srila Prabhupada paused. The philosophical talk had been rigorous, lasting about 45 minutes. He wasn't tired, he could have gone on, but now he wanted to conduct the deity installation. Everything necessary for spiritual life was here. The temple, the devotees, the books, the deity, prasadam. He wanted these young people to take advantage of it. Why should they remain living like animals and thinking of spiritual life as a vague groping for something? They should take advantage of Krishna's mercy and be successful and happy. And for this, Prabhupada was their tireless servant. Prabhupada. So, Hayagriva, come here. Prabhupada had the devotees arranged for a large candle on a plate. The ceremony he had planned would be a simple one, with the devotees and guests, one after another, coming up and offering the flame in circles before the Jagannath deities. This should be lighted up, said Prabhupada. And when there is kirtan, one must be doing like this before the deity. Srila Prabhupada moved his hands around in a circle before the deity. You see? I agree. Yes, yes, Prabhupada. Yes, with the kirtan. And then when one person is tired, he should hand it over to another person, devotee. When he is tired, he should give it to another, as long as the kirtan will go on. This should be done with the kirtan just now. Do you follow? Yes, you begin. And when you're tired, you hand over to another. It will go on like this. Srila Prabhupada from his seat guided Hayagriva in approaching the deity with the lit candle. Some of the girls tittered with nervous expectation. Before the deity, Srila Prabhupada said, all right, now better begin, kirtan. Prabhupada began playing kartals and singing the Hare Krishna mantra to the popular melody he had introduced in America. Just in front, he called out, gesturing to Hayagriva to stand more directly before the deities. Devotees and guests began rising to their feet and dancing, arms raised, bodies swaying rhythmically back and forth as they faced the bright personal forms of the deities and chanted. Colored lights within the canopy began flashing intermittently, blue, red, and yellow, highlighting the extraordinary eyes of Lord Jagannath, Subhadra, and Balram. Mukunda, who had arranged the lights, smiled and looked to Swamiji, hoping for approval. So Prabhupada nodded and continued forcefully singing Hare Krishna. The young hippies were enthusiastic in singing and dancing, knowing that the kirtan usually lasted an hour. Some had grasped Swamiji's words when he had spoken of fixing the mind on the personal form of the Supreme Lord. And they had understood when he had looked up at the deities and said, here is Krishna. Others hadn't followed, but thought that it was just great and blissful to sing Hare Krishna and look at the grinning, big-eyed deities upon the altar amid the flowers and billowing incense. Prabhupada watched with pleasure as one person after another took a turn at offering the candle before Lord Jagannath. This was a simple procedure for installing the deity. Although in big temples in India, the installation of the deity was a complex, exact procedure requiring several days of continuous rituals, directed by highly paid priests. In San Francisco, there were no Brahmin priests to pay, and the many other standards would be impossible to maintain. For non-Hindus to handle Lord Jagannath and conduct his worship would be considered heresy by the caste-conscious Brahmins of India. Except for Prabhupada, none of the persons present would have been allowed even to enter the temple at Jagannath Puri. The white man, the Westerner, was not allowed to see Lord Jagannath except once a year as he rode in his cart during the Rath Yatra festival. But these restrictions were social customs, not the scriptural injunctions. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati had introduced deity worship and initiation for anyone, regardless of caste, race, or nationality. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati's father, had longed for the day when the people of the West would mingle with their Indian brothers and chant Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada had come to the West to fulfill the desires and the vision of his spiritual master and of Bhaktivinoda Thakur by creating Vaishnavas among the Westerners. Now, if the Westerners were to become actual devotees, they would have to be given the deity worship. Otherwise, it would be more difficult for them to become purified. Srila Prabhupada was confident in his spiritual master's direction and in the scriptures. He had faith that Lord Jagannath was especially merciful to the fallen. He prayed that the Lord of the universe would not be offended by his reception at New Jagannath Puri. So, Jagannath ji had come on his own by his own mercy. And Prabhupada is praying that, hope you are not offended. When the kirtan ended, Prabhupada asked Haridas to bring him the candle. Prabhupada passed his hands across the flame and touched them to his forehead. Yes, he said, show everyone, each and everyone. Whatever they can contribute here, take it like this and show everyone. He indicated that Haridas should present the candle before each person in the room so that all present could touch their hands to the flame as he had shown and then touch their foreheads. As Haridas went from person to person, a few devotees dropped some coins on the plate and others followed. Srila Prabhupada explained further, the Bhagavatam has recommended hearing, chanting, thinking, and worshipping. This process we just now introduced on the advent of Jagannath Swami means that now this temple is now completely fixed. So this is the worshipping process. This is called Arati. So at the end of Kirtan, this Arati will go on, and the worshipping process is to take the heat of the light and whatever your condition is, pay something for the worship. So this simple process, if you follow, you just see how you realize the absolute truth. Another thing I request you, all the devotees, when you come to the temple, you bring one fruit and one flower. If you can bring more fruit, more flower, it is very good. If it's not very expensive to bring one fruit and one flower and offer it to the deity. So I'll request you, when you come to the temple, you bring this. Whatever fruit it may be, it doesn't mean that you have to bring very costly fruit, any fruit. Whatever you can afford, one fruit and one flower. He paused, looking around the room. Yes, now you can distribute prasadam. The guests sat in the rows on the floor and the devotees began serving prasadam, offering the first plate to Prabhupada. The food preparations were those Prabhupada had personally taught the devotees in his kitchen. Samosa, halwa, puris, rice, several cooked vegetables, fruit chutney, sweets, all the Sunday specials. The guests loved the prasadam and ate as much as they could get. While the devotees, especially the expert women, served more and more prasadam, the guests relaxed and enjoyed an evening of feasting and convivial conversation. After Prabhupada tasted all the preparations, he looked up with raised eyebrows. Very nice preparations. All glories to the cookers, to the cooks, it should be. But he appreciated. Of course, it takes hard work to prepare all this prasadam. A few minutes later, as the feasting continued, Srila Prabhupada spoke into the microphone. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me. I would repeat this. Hayagriva swallowed, cleared his throat and spoke up. Jagannath Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me. Prabhupada. Yes, this should be chanted. Jagannath Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me. A boy asked what it meant. Hayagriva replied, oh, the Lord of Universe, please be present before me. When Prabhupada noticed an older, respectably dressed man leaving the room without receiving a feast plate, Prabhupada became concerned. Oh, why is he going away? Ask him to come. A boy ran after him, opening the temple door and calling, please don't leave, Swamiji requests. As the man re-entered the storefront, Prabhupada requested, please, please, take prasadam. And turning to the servers, he instructed, give him first. And so the feasting continued beneath the order of Lord Jagannath and under the auspices of his servant, Srila Prabhupada. See how careful he was when somebody was leaving without taking prasadam. He made sure he gets the prasadam. The next day, acting on a whim, the devotees took the Jagannath deity off the altar and carried him to Golden Gate Park for Kirtan. Within minutes, hundreds gathered in the meadow below Happy Hill, dancing and chanting around Lord Jagannath. After several hours, the devotees returned him to the altar. Prabhupada disapproved. The deity should never leave the temple. The deities don't go out to see the people except on special occasions. They're not for parks for birds to drop too long. If you want to see the deities, you have to visit them. Of course, we should yes, that time it was different, but and what Prabhupada is saying is not wrong, definitely not wrong. So there is Utsav Murti and then there is Vigraha. Utsav Murti, the small deities, they can go around. And big Jagannath deity only goes for Rath Yatra. Otherwise, he doesn't leave the temple. But with Jagannath also, although he doesn't take offenses, is very, very merciful. We have to be serious when we are serving him. We cannot take him for granted. Just in the name of, say, deity worship or mercy of the deity, or whatever words we can think of. No, we should not take him that lightly. Lord Jagannath's presence quickly beautified the temple. Devotees made garlands for him daily. Jadurani's paintings of Lord Vishnu arrived from New York, and Govindasi had painted a large portrait of Srila Prabhupada, which now hung beside his seat. Devotees also put Indian prints of Krishna on the walls. The lights flashing upon Lord Jagannath made his eyes seem to pulsate and his colors move and jump. And he became a special attraction in the psychedelic neighborhood of Hyde Ashbury. As Prabhupada had requested, devotees and guests began bringing offerings before the altar of Lord Jagannath. Hippies would come by and leave whatever they could. A stalk of wheat, half a loaf of bread, a box of saltines in like some crackers, a piece of fudge or candles, flowers or fruit. Hearing that before using something for yourself, you should first offer it to God. Some hippies began bringing their new clothes and offering them with a prayer to Lord Jagannath before wearing them. These hippies didn't follow Lord Jagannath's instructions, but they wanted his blessings. See, they were just innocent. They didn't know. So, yes, they would get the blessings, mercy of the Lord. Each night, the devotees performed the Arati ceremony, just as Prabhupada had taught them, taking turns offering a candle before Lord Jagannath. When the devotees asked whether they could add anything to the ceremony, Prabhupada said yes, they could also offer incense. He said there were many more details of deity worship, numerous enough to keep the devotees busy 24 hours a day. But if he were to tell them everything at once, they would fail. Yes, because deity worship is very, very elaborate, especially in the temples. And it's not easy. There has to be a whole team of pujaris to really worship the Lord properly. Speaking privately in his room to one of his disciples, Prabhupada said that during Kirtan in the temple, he thought of Lord Chaitanya dancing before Lord Jagannath. He told how Lord Chaitanya had traveled to Puri and danced before Lord Jagannath in such ecstasy that he had been unable to say anything more than Jaga, Jaga. Lord Chaitanya had been thinking, Krishna, for so long I wanted to see you, and now I am seeing you. When Lord Chaitanya had lived in Puri, as many as 500 men at a time would visit him, and every evening there would be huge kirtan with 4 parties, each with 4 mridanga players and 8 kartan players. One party this side, one party this side, Prabhupada explained. One party backside and one party front side. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the middle. They would all dance and the 4 parties would chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. That was going on every evening. So long he stayed at Jagannath Puri. The devotees understood that there was a great difference between themselves and Swamiji. He had never been a hippie. He wasn't at home amid the illusion of high-tech LSD, psychedelic posters, rock musicians, hippie jargon, and street people. They knew he was different, though sometimes they forgot. He spent so much time with them, every day eating with them, joking with them, depending on them. But then sometimes they would remember his special identity. When they chanted with him in the temple before Lord Jagannath, he, unlike them, would be thinking of Lord Chaitanya's kirtans before Lord Jagannath in Puri. When Lord Chaitanya had seen Jagannath, he had seen Krishna. His love for Krishna has been so great that he had gone mad. Prabhupada thought of these things to a degree far beyond what his disciples could understand, and yet he remained with them as a dear friend and spiritual instructor. He was a servant, teaching them to pray like him to be able to serve Krishna. O Lord of the universe, kindly be visible. Govindasi had a question for Swami. He had mentioned briefly that Lord Chaitanya used to cry in separation from Krishna, had once even thrown himself into a river crying, "Where is Krishna?" She was unsure whether her question would be proper, but she waited for an opportunity to ask it. So we know how Govinda Mataji, she got initiated in San Francisco. She came from Oregon or some part of California, I don't remember. But as far as I remember, she is the only devotee, only, all Prabhupada disciples, only devotee mentioned in one of Srila Prabhupada's purports of Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Prabhupada mentioned, I don't remember the exact words, but something like our disciple, our devotee or our disciple, Govindasi, had brought tulsi seeds from India. And she planted them in either in Hawaii or in San Francisco. And then we got tulsi leaves. So she had gone to India, and on the way back, she brought tulsi manjari and hid them from at the airport, and somehow she brought them inside the country. Now we get tulsi everywhere, but at that time there was no tulsi. So she's the one who brought tulsi seeds from India, and she planted, and she grew tulsi plants. One evening after the lecture, when Prabhupada asked for questions, and there were none, Govindasi thought, this is my chance. But she hesitated. Her question wasn't on the subject of his lecture, and besides, she didn't even like to ask questions in public. No question, Srila Prabhupada looked at her. Govindasi thought Swamiji seemed disappointed that there were no questions. He had said several times that they should ask questions and clear up any doubts. Again he asks, have you got any questions? Govinda asks, oh well, could you tell about Lord Chaitanya asking Prabhupada, asking where is Krishna? Prabhupada, Govinda asks, could you tell about Lord Chaitanya asking where is Krishna and falling in the water? Or would that be Prabhupada smile? Yes, yes, very nice. Your question is very nice. Oh, I am very glad. Srila Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya, he was the greatest symbol of Krishna Bhakti, a devotee of Krishna. So just see from his life. He never said that I have seen Krishna. Never said I have seen Krishna. He was mad after Krishna. This is the process of Lord Chaitanya, Chaitanya philosophy. It is called viraha. Viraha means separation. Separation. Krishna, you're so good, you're so merciful, you're so nice. But I'm so rascal, I'm so full of sin that I cannot see you. I have no qualification to see you. So in this way, one feels the separation of Krishna. Krishna, I want to see you, but I am so disqualified that I cannot see you. These feelings of separation will make you enriched Krishna consciousness. Feelings of separation. Not that Krishna has seen you, finished, all right, I have understood you, finished, all my business finished. No, perpetually. Think of yourself that I am unfit to see Krishna. That will enrich you in Krishna consciousness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed these feelings of separation. This is Radharani's separation. When Krishna went from Vrindavan to his place, his father's place, Radharani was feeling in that way, always mad after Krishna. So Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the separation feeling of Radharani. That is the best way of worshipping Krishna, becoming Krishna conscious. So you know that Lord Chaitanya fell on the sea. Krishna, if you are here, Krishna, if you are here. Similarly, the next devotee is Lord Chaitanya's direct disciples, the Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. They also, the same disciplic succession, they also worship Krishna in that separation feeling. There is a nice verse about them. Srila Prabhupada saying, He Radhe Vraj Devike Chalalite, He Nanda Suno Kuta, Shri Govardhan Kalpa, Pad Patale Kalindi Vane Kuta, Ghoshantaviti Sarvato Vrajapure, Kheder Mahabhivalo, Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghu Yugo, Shri Jiva Gopala. These Goswamis also later on, when they were very much mature in devotional service, what were they doing? They were daily in the Vrindavan Dham, just like a madman. Krishna, where are you? That is the quality. It is very nice question. Prabhupada paused and uttered a thoughtful, He remained silent. They also remained silent, watching him. He sat cross-legged on the black velvet pillow on the redwood dais. His hands were folded, his eyes closed, and he became overpowered by inner feelings of ecstasy. Although the simple devotees present could not know what was happening, they could see him enter a deep inward state. They could feel the atmosphere transform into awesome devotional stillness. They kept their eyes fixed on him. A minute and a half passed. Srila Prabhupada uttered another thoughtful and opened his eyes. They were filled with tears. He reached over and grasped his kartals, which rattled in his hand, but he moved no further. Again, he withdrew from external consciousness. So he was in ecstasy. Another minute of silence passed. The minute seemed extremely calm, yet intense and long. Another minute passed. After almost 4 minutes, Prabhupada cleared his throat and struck the kartals together, beginning the slow rhythm. A devotee began the one-note drone on the harmonium. Prabhupada sang, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya. Building the chanting to a lively pace. After about 10 minutes, the kirtan stopped and Prabhupada left the room. As the devotees rose and began their various duties, some leaving out the front door behind Prabhupada and going to the kitchen, others coming together for conversation. They all knew that their spiritual master had been intensely feeling separation from Krishna. They had no doubt that it was a deep ecstasy, because just by being in his presence during that long and special stillness, they also had felt a glimmer of the same love for Krishna. We can only pray to Prabhupada to also let us taste that love, that ecstasy. Okay, I guess I can stop. Let's see, anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I just wanted to know in Jagannath Puri, where we have this vigraha of Jagannath Ji and Subhadra and Balaram, we have the Sudarshan also in a stick form. Now, we all know Sudarshan is in a chakra form. Why is it in a stick form there?
Yeah, that's one of the pastimes. When, if you remember, in Dwarka, when Krishna was sitting with Queen Satyabhama, then Satyabhama was little proud of herself. So Krishna had to break her pride. So Krishna first he sent Sudarshan Chakra to get Hanumanji. No, first he sent Garuda. First he sent Garudaji to get Hanumanji and tell Hanumanji that Ram is waiting for you. So Garudaji went and Hanumanji was serving Ram in the deity of Ram in his place. So Garudaji went and Hanumanji said, Ram is waiting for me? How come Lord Ram is waiting for me? So let me remember the story properly. I don't want to miss it. Because 2 times he had to send. So Garudaji came and he saw only Krishna with the Rukmini and Satyabhama. So he went back. He said, no, what is this? So Krishna then said Sudarshan Chakra to bring Hanumanji, and then he changed himself into Ram, form of Ram, and he asked Rukmini to become Sita. And he also asked Rukmini was, I'm sure, Rukmini wasn't there. See, Satyabhama, he asked Satyabhama to take the form of Sita in the forest, because this is what Hanumanji had seen. But Satyabhama refused. And Sudarshan Chakra, when he went to get Hanumanji, he was also very proud of his speed. And he told Hanumanji, oh, the Ram is waiting for you in Dwarka. He has appeared. So Hanumanji jumped, and even before Sudarshan could even move, Hanumanji was in front of Krishna or Ram in Dwarka. And Sudarshan came and his pride was broken. And because of this pride that he was, this pride that he had, that I'm very fast and I'm serving Krishna very nicely, because of that, he had to take the form of a stick. You don't go anywhere. No, you stay as a stick. Stick doesn't go anywhere. The wheel goes. You stay as stick in Jagannath Puri. But he still does protection for Lord Jagannath's devotees. But he is in the form of a stick. So Krishna and his pastimes, they're just amazing. And that is why, because of his protective capabilities, on Rath Yatra day, he goes on the altar of Subhadra to protect Lady Subhadra. Jagannath and Balramji, they can take care of themselves, but for Lady, he goes on that chariot. Is it okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mata.
Ashok Prabhuji, nice question and nice answer. We all come to know of this. नहीं पता था हमको, मुझे तो नहीं पता था. Thank you, Ashok Prabhuji, asking for such good question.
Yeah. Thank you, Chalu. You all have safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Jai Srila
Krishna. Thank
Prabhupada.
you, Prabhu.